Okay, I think we're good. Daisy, you're controlling it, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Trying to. But yes, go ahead. Let me.
While she's getting everything up and running, I would just like to say welcome to everyone. Thank you for our ambassadors. We're so thankful for you doing this How to Thrive in Graduate School, and we're so happy to see students have joined us from both Tucson and Phoenix programs. This is all MPH students, all new brand new incoming MPH students were invited to this session. So again, thank you so much, and I will set you off.
Thank you, Kim. Yes, welcome everyone. Congratulations. You're about to start grad school. So we're going to be presenting on how to navigate grad school, and we're going to start with introductions. Can you go to the next one, Daisy? So this is me. My name is Becky. I'm a second year MPH student, and my concentration is public health policy and management, and I'm based in Tucson. I was born in Chicago, and then when I was 4, I moved to Phoenix, and I've been in Tucson since 2016. I graduated with my Bachelor's of Science in Health Sciences in Physiology from U of A in 2020. And my internship is trauma center certifications, recertifications, and levels in Arizona. And it's in partnership with an organization called the Arizona Trauma Association. And these are some of my interests. Traveling is one of them. I got to study abroad when I was an undergrad. I used to go to 4th Ave yoga all the time before COVID. I haven't been there since, and then just those other things. So whoever would like to go next.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Celia. I'm also a second year MPH student. My concentration is environmental and occupational health. And I'm also in the main campus, so Tucson. I am originally from Frankfort, Kentucky, and I did a dual degree in biology and environmental and sustainability studies at the University of Kentucky. And then I worked for a year and then came to Tucson last August with my partner, who's in the lower picture, and started my MPH. So my internship is with Research Lab and Safety Services, which is a department that focuses, basically they do occupational health and safety for all the research facilities and workers on campus. So I'm looking at doing a couple projects, one on researchers who work with radiation, and then another with researchers who work on the U of A research farms. My interests are mostly centered around the outdoors, so climbing and hiking, but I've also gotten really into yoga. Becky will have to go to 4th Ave yoga when it opens back up. And then I also really like to read and cook and bake. So can move on.
I'm sorry. I apologize for the technical issues. So my name is Zaxi Resendi. I help behavioral health promotion. I'm also doing MA in Latin American Studies. I'm originally was born in San Luis Potosí, Mexico. I grew up in Oklahoma, and then did move to Kansas to study. I did my BA in Latin American and Caribbean Studies at the University of Kansas. And so my internship, I think with COVID, everything kind of changed. And so I had to change my topic of interest. It was kind of hard because I had been working on this topic, during my classes. I would write about, the different things that I wanted to include in my paper, and everything changed completely this past spring of 2021. And so I had to think of another topic. And so I'm doing this 6-week program with the University of Arizona Clínica Integral Alamos, global telehealth rotations. with the indigenous communities in Sonora, Mexico. And I'm hoping out of that, I get to make connections. I think the most important thing for me in doing an internship, and that's what I was trying to do before COVID, is to make connections and with the, with the people that I want to work with. And so I'm hoping with this, I could make connections and do my internship with this clinica, and knowing like how telehealth affects or impacts the indigenous communities from Sonora, Mexico. And then my interests are traveling, hiking, and watching novelas. Now I'll go into the next one.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle King. I use she, her pronouns. And I'm a second year MPH in the Public Health Policy and Management concentration. I'm also based out of Tucson as well. So I'm originally from Mesa, Arizona. I've lived in Arizona my whole life, and I came to Tucson in my undergrad, which I studied biology with a biomedical emphasis. And then this year I'm working on my internship. So I'm working with Tucson Fire Department. Kind of looking at some of the recent policy changes they've had in their agency and looking how those policies have impacted their workers, their firefighters, both in their work and at home. And then also kind of looking at the financial implications of those changes as well. Very exciting stuff. But outside of all of it, I really love to run, love getting a good sweat in, love to bake. I always like to joke that my love language is coffee, because I drink way too much of it. But I also love to travel. So I'm really looking forward to being able to do that again soon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eniola, and I'm a second MPH student. And my concentration is health behavior, health promotion, and I'm at the Tucson campus. So my hometown, I'm from Queen Creek, which is about 45 minutes from Phoenix. And I actually graduated with my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology last year from the U of A. And currently I'm interning at the Arizona Center for Rural Health, where I'm evaluating a mentorship program that's called AVMAP Mentors. And it's a mentorship program that assists healthcare providers, experienced and new providers, to increase medicated assisted treatment services, to reduce the opioid epidemic that we're currently facing in Pima County, and also the substance use disorders in rural areas. So that's aligns with what I'm going to do with like my career goals. But outside of school, I love dancing. I love to go out with my friends and just have a good time, listening to music, reading, and podcast, especially when it comes to pop culture or like therapy, and then also traveling. So the picture at the bottom, this was like pre-pandemic times in 2019. I went to Chicago and visited the Bean, so it was really nice.
Hi, everyone. My name is Josie, and I'm a second year MPH student in the health behavior, health promotion concentration. And I'm based here in Tucson, so I'm at the main campus. I'm from Texas, a small town in Texas originally, but I moved to Tucson in spring of 2019, and I've been here since, and I'm now an Arizona resident. I got my Bachelor's of Science in Biology from West Texas A&M University, also in Canyon, Texas. My internship, I'm working on adapting a curriculum for youth in Tucson, and it's really cool. It's a project with ASU, and it focuses on youth participatory action research and addressing social determinants of health. So I'm really passionate about that. And then also it's just a cool opportunity to work with a different institution. And then some of my interests outside of this, I love to be outside, anything outdoors, being active. And I love, really passionate about tennis. And I love cooking and reading, and I kind of do those things to de-stress a little bit, especially during the semester. Okay, and I'll start us off. So first of all, welcome. It's so exciting, and I remember being here a year ago, a little nervous, but you'll be fine. So first, what does an ambassador do? Mainly, we're here as a resource, and we also offer a different perspective for incoming students or admitted students. It's just offering the student perspective, somebody different that you can go to, even though staff and administrators are very helpful and would love to help and have no problem with that. And so mainly we assist with recruitment and outreach activities. Some of those include Admitted Students Day. We do alumni outreach. So we're kind of the connection between, we like to keep in touch with MESCOF alumni to kind of see what they're doing. And we also do tabling events, like at the American Public Health Association fair, the Arizona Public Health Association, and graduate school fairs. We also are in charge of the public health Instagram. So there's the Instagram handle if you want to follow us on there. There's also a student blog that we're really trying to ramp up again this year and really post a lot on there. So if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out. We don't have all the answers, but we have done this for at least a year now. So it's always nice to see that and be able to talk to someone else that's gone through it previously and that might have just some different ideas. So does anyone else have anything to add that they've seen or that I might have missed?
Alrighty, so so some great ways to kind of thrive while in grad school. It can kind of be a lot. You know, you have your schooling, you have life. Sometimes you also have a job. So we really want to make sure that you are set for success to thrive in this role. So some of the recommendations, definitely schedule some downtime. It always helps to actually like write that in your calendar because then you remember it's there and you can utilize that time for yourself and whatever you need to accomplish for that day. Definitely recommend choosing activities that are important to you. Do a class that you may have an option between a couple and do that one class that you know you are really interested in, you're going to gain something from. Maybe you want to join a club or an organization and do that one that you have a passion for. And also be okay with saying no. It's very easy to want to take on all of it because you're very excited. I know I'm the same way. So definitely working on being okay with saying no and really focusing on one or two aspects. Also find people outside of your concentration or your field. Celebrate your small victories and successes, which is a really big one. Even if it's just something really small, like you got that paper done on time, really celebrate that because it's really all those small victories that lead up to your graduation. Find what keeps you calm. And then also try to balance that graduate school work and personal life. It can be a challenge at times, but it's definitely doable. And kind of find what works best for you when finding that balance, whether that's a planner or maybe like an online calendar or something like that. And then remember, you're in the School of Public Health, right? So remember to take care of you as a person, getting that extra sleep, going for that exercise, eating a healthy meal. And then remember to also take care of yourself on a mental and physical level, especially right now in COVID coming out of last year and into this year, it can definitely take a toll on you. So make sure to kind of take a step back and focus on all of that. It's really important. Does anybody else want to add anything on how to thrive?
I could say that the family part, always reaching out to your family is really helpful. Yeah, COVID was tough for all of us, but just read like texting or calling your parents really helps.
I would like to say like definitely like take like some time to breathe and like just get, because I know last year we were in like in Zoom mode, so like we would be at our computers like almost like during the time. So that's what I would do, like, you know, take a break from my screen and just like listen to music and relax. So definitely I would like recommend that.
I see Emily you asked a question. We have time for questions at the end, so we'll remember to come back to that question, okay?
And then this is kind of my story about how to get involved and where to volunteer. I kind of started with getting involved with Lucha, learning and understanding, cultivating health advocacy. This organization kind of connects you to like services or volunteer opportunities, kind of bridging the gap and letting you know of the U.S.-Mexico border and immigrants' rights. So I kind of got involved in that, and that took me to Dia del Campesino in Yuma, Arizona, where they provide services for the farm workers in Yuma, Arizona. And that was really eye-opening for me. And then that's kind of how I got involved with the Primary Prevention Mobile Health Unit. Here in Tucson. I know there's also one in Phoenix, and Dr. Cecilia Rosales runs both. And I know Shayla runs the Tucson mobile health unit. I'm not sure who runs the Phoenix one, but you can also ask Kim if you want more information. I've been volunteering with the mobile health unit for a year. I got to travel again to Yuma, Arizona, and to Nogales with the vaccine where they were providing the COVID vaccine. And so that was really, really rewarding for me, just getting these vaccines to people that wouldn't get it otherwise. So I really like this, the mobile health unit. And I know there's a Tucson and Phoenix one. So if you're interested, it's really rewarding. And also Casa Alitas, it's a house for new migrants that are coming over. They provide, they kind of are the send-off. Like I want to say, they send the people that are coming from the border to their family members. They provide transportation, help with getting a plane ticket, and even driving the new guests to the airport and then sending them off. And I know Diego is in charge of, he's a director. He's always helpful, and he can provide you with any information. Also, you can get involved with the Graduate and Professional Student Council. Actually, your College of Public Health representative. It's we're kind of your voice. We provide, GPSC provides funding. And if you ever have any concerns, just send me an email. And then we usually have meetings. We had 2 meetings over the summer, and we're about to like start meeting again. And it's just, you guys, if you have any problems or issues or concerns, I'll bring it up to the general council when we have our meetings. There's also positions available still. If you want to be part of it, just let me know. Also, I'm involved in the Grupo Folclórico Mistontli. They're kind of a dance group. Also Mecha, and then since I'm also part of the MA, I'm also involved with Lasso. There's a lot before COVID, right? I used to take a tour of South Tucson. Here in this picture, I got involved with this. I actually went to a presentation, and they were talking about a dance group, and they provide kind of like services to immigrants who are at the border waiting. And this, we went to this place where they would have like where they would stay, and this, she was a dance teacher, and she would provide mental services through the dance. And so I got to go to Nogales to do that as well. So there's a lot of ways that you can get involved. I know I'm not that, this is kind of telling you my story of, the places that I volunteer or where I've been a part of. If anyone has something else to share, I know there's a lot going on. And if you have any questions, I know there's organizations through the Phoenix area, and you can contact Kim Barnes for that if you have questions about that. Anyone else has, or like a place that they volunteer or that they've been a part of, if you guys could share.
After you guys start the program, you can be ambassadors too. We didn't mention that. But you guys can also be ambassadors like us. We're college ambassadors, and we all have different concentrations, as we mentioned earlier.
Yes, that's kind of how I became an ambassador. When I first arrived to the U of A, I was introduced to this really cool advisor or ambassador, and I was like, oh, I want to be just like him. I want to also be, someone who could be inviting or welcoming, and so yeah, you guys can also be ambassadors. All right, I can move on to the next one if no one has any other.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about everyone's favorite topic, which is the internship. Nobody panic, you're going to be fine. I know my first bullet point is to start early, and early is in all caps, and there's exclamation points, but so you don't have to start worrying about it tomorrow. Just have it in the back of your head, because you're going to want to identify a topic that you're interested in, because you are going to be working on it for a long time, and you're still going to be working on your internship. Say if you intern for a semester, you're still probably going to be working the next semester on your reports and things like that. But start early, just start thinking about what you're interested in. And there's resources available to you, your faculty and staff. So once you start your classes, you might be introduced to a topic that you hadn't thought of before, or you might really click with the professor, and then you can figure out what kind of research and interest they have to kind of spark what you want to do for your internship. And you also have us, your ambassadors, and other peers that you can get ideas from. So you heard about our internships, and also the hub, that's like the center. That's our website for MESCOF, and that's really helpful. That's where you'll find basically everything you need to find is on that website. But we also post internships on there. So if there are any internship opportunities available, it's posted on there, so you can go take a look. That's how I found my internship. I was just going through what was available, and then I found Arizona Trauma Association, and they specifically work with policies to enhance trauma services in Arizona. And my concentration is public health policy and management. So that's where the alignment comes in, and it works out for me because it works with my concentration. And also I've worked in a hospital, but the one place that I couldn't go was the trauma center. So now I'm kind of getting that fulfillment through my internship. And also the internship conferences, that's what I was talking about, that even after you finish your internship, you might still be working on it, because at the end, you'll have to present on it. But you can attend the conferences and get ideas of what other people have done, not just us. And then once you figure out what you want to do, you select your internship, and you'll start talking to your site preceptor. And if for some reason you need funding for your internship, that is available through GPSC, is Graduate and Professional Student Council. That's what Daisy was talking about earlier. And there's also funding with the Western Region Public Health Training Center. That's what that other acronym is. So if you need funding, you can go to those websites, and there's like a little tab, and it'll give you all the information on that. And then once you have kind of what's happening with your internship done, you'll select your committee chair, and that's going to be a faculty member. So that's another reason why I was saying, keep in mind your professors that you click with, because they can serve as this role for you. And then you'll start your paperwork and just start your internship like that. And everyone's internship varies. So it's kind of difficult to explain your internship. Like you heard it from all of us. We're all doing completely different things. And also the duration is different. So if you want to start now, if you want to start later, it's totally up to you. It is centered around you. You get to make your internship what you want it to be. That's what I have. My ambassadors want to add anything else?
I was gonna also say that also if you're like sign up to the listserv, like look out for like the internship workshops. I know that Tanya or Kim, they usually send out like the workshops, and that will literally like help you to know how to start like an internship and like how to find one that like aligns with your research interest, because that's what helped me to get one at the Center for Rural Health, and also how to begin your paperwork. So I definitely recommend that.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a step back and make sure to say, like Becky said at the beginning, I know you all are hearing a lot about the internship over orientation. And I remember last year I was like, oh my gosh, like I just moved across the country and we're in the middle of a pandemic and like everyone is telling me about this internship project. And I had like no idea what I wanted to do. But it really will work out. And I also just wanted to say that your internship is not like the only chance to work or get involved in something that you're interested in. Obviously, there are a lot of volunteer opportunities, but like for me, I was interested in both kind of like environmental epidemiology and occupational health. So I got involved in research that was like environmental epidemiology focused. And then I chose an internship that was focused on occupational health. So I just wanted to say, like, don't feel like the internship has to be, you know, everything, it has to be like this perfect thing. Because if anything, it can show you maybe what you're not interested in doing. I know some people have those stories, or it might end up being something that you do forever. So don't stress. I know you're hearing a lot about it, so I'll let you all continue.
All right, so there's going to be a few steps to like learn how to navigate the program. So just a background from my story, I came from a different department, which is psychology, and like going into a new field, it was a little bit challenging, but what I did was I asked a lot of questions like last year when I attended orientation, you know, such as like course sequencing and like how to like schedule and how intense the courses were, because like public health was a new field to me. So I would definitely like recommend like ask questions. Like we have amazing administrative staff like Kim and Tanya, and also utilize the resources. The resources are helpful for you to know like what type of courses you need or how to look for like your internships and also funding as well. And that goes into like the course sequencing. I know on the College of Public Health website, different concentration have their own like course recommendation like form. So I would definitely recommend looking into those forms and see like how many courses you need or how many units you need to take per semester. But also like I know that as like first year we want to like get to like know how the program is. Definitely like look at your schedule and see like how flexible you want it to be, because our mental health and our self-care is very important. So definitely like schedule out like, you know, like how much course you want and if you have time for your like volunteering. And I know that some of us, you know, are working, and I'm also working as well, so I had to like schedule out like how much course load I have to take per semester. But as long that you are taking the courses you need and you're like on track for graduation, then you're good to go. Definitely opportunities for funding. So we have like numerous such as graduate research and teaching assistantships. I would recommend like asking any faculty member first, like through email, if to see if they have any assistantships that you can, you know, work for them. Or also you can look into the hub also to see if there's any opportunities for any like funding, also through like the graduate college that we have at the U of A, but also talk to staff and other students, and also like other students outside of other departments. Like you can look for assistantships at other departments and see if they have those as well. And this important part is read your emails. Ever since I've been in this program, I've been like reading my emails like a lot. It really has like helped me to like know, okay, what type of, you know, events are going on, and is an opportunity for you to see like what type of funding or assistantships or also jobs that are like available to. So definitely like look out for those emails, especially if you are signed to the MPH listserv. And then also go to events and be engaged with, you know, everybody in the community. I know Kim or Tanya, they usually send out like emails about social event hours or any type of social event, other social event. definitely like look out for those and try to attend, and also make friends within your cohort, especially like in class, like try to have a group meet or WhatsApp. That's how I knew like some people, because I like made friends through classes, like as a study like group. So definitely I will do that. So yeah. Does any other ambassador have any questions or any experience for navigating the MPH program? Sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, definitely read your emails. They're very helpful. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up with the tips for success in a semi-virtual world, and then we'll go into questions. But I think the question that was asked earlier on balancing everything, I'm gonna try to go into a little bit on this slide. But we wanted to end with this because, we don't really know exactly what next year is going to look like. I think we're all hoping that we'll have more in-person classes and in-person events, and but nobody really knows. I think that's clear from the past year. So we just wanted to share kind of some tips that were helpful to us over the past year as like basically virtual grad students. And so the first thing I think is creating a schedule and a routine that works for you. I think one of the biggest differences, obviously, between pre-pandemic and pandemic times is that we're at home a lot more. I mean, some of you may have jobs where you're there all the time, but I think a lot of MPH students that I know are working from home, taking classes at home, and it can just be really hard to stay motivated and organized. So figure out what works for you, whether it's a really strict routine or something flexible. I think that's really important. Then the next bullet, stay organized. I feel like that's a really obvious thing, but I do think it's really important, and it means something different for everyone, whether that's like having a clean, organized space to work at home, or for me, I really like to, at the beginning of the semester, like look at all my syllabi and make lists of like kind of like crazy type A lists of like every assignment that I have in the semester, but it really helps me like map out everything in my brain and not feel so overwhelmed. So that's my little like tip for the person who asked about balancing. But the next thing is finding spaces to work. I think working at home can be great because it's allows for flexibility, but I think it's really hard sometimes to keep your motivation up. So there are plenty of spaces to work, especially now that a lot of places are open. There are really great coffee shops in Tucson. There's the Tucson Public, or the Pima County Public Libraries are open now too, so you can always go there. And then on campus, there are a ton of libraries, but the kind of areas in the health sciences, on that health sciences North Campus, are Drachman Hall, so that's the Mezcov building, has some places that you can study or work, and then the Arizona Health Sciences Library. And I think there was some information sent out about the hours and availability of both of those in an email last week. But you can also look on the websites too. Then the next thing, something that I think that has actually been kind of cool about the pandemic is that it's become, I think, a lot easier to communicate with faculty and staff, because you can just schedule a Zoom meeting and you don't have to like go through, meeting someone at their office, because you can just do like a quick meeting online. And so this was something that really helped me when I was feeling kind of like isolated and stressed at the beginning of my fall semester, was scheduling some Zoom meetings with faculty in my department, and then talking to them kind of just about their career paths and like advice that they had for the master's program. And it just made me feel more guided and made me feel a lot more confident. And then along that same vein, reach out to other students as well, because that's something that every time that I talk to someone else in the MPH program, I feel so much better, because I realize that everyone else is feeling the same way, or at least having similar problems and similar successes too. And it's really nice to talk to other people, even outside of the MPH program, other grad students too. And there are graduate student support groups on campus too. So if you need something like that, you can, I don't think we've mentioned counseling and psych services, but Danielle mentioned mental health earlier, and I think that's super important. And that's what I wanted to end with, is just recognize your needs I think this past like year and a half has been very difficult for everyone. And it's really great that you're starting grad school. Like that's such a huge accomplishment, especially while we're still in a pandemic. So recognize that you're doing great. Be nice to yourself and think about your physical and mental health first, because I know we're all really, really motivated and want to do really well in school, but I think focusing on yourself is really the priority. So that's all I have. I think we're good to take questions now, or if anyone else wants to add anything.
I wanted to add something to Emily's question. So Emily's question was, do you guys have any advice on how to balance everything? And Celia was kind of hitting that. And then she continued, I work full-time at Banner. So she's working full-time, will be a full-time student. And then I know when I started talking about the internship, I stressed you out, I know. But to help you out in that regard, the internship is built in like to your coursework. So don't think like you're going to like school full-time, working full-time, and doing the internship on top of that. Your internship is part of your curriculum. And you have free reign on how you want to just disperse your credits. And Tanya and Kim, depending on where you're based, they can give you advice on how to space that out. So don't look at it as like another thing on top. Just know that you'll work it into your schedule. And that's what Eniola was talking about, the course sequencing. So each concentration has like a recommended course sequencing, and it breaks down the units and everything, and it makes it a lot less scary. I don't know if anyone else wanted to add to that, or if there's any other questions that we can answer for everyone here.
Yeah, feel free to, oh, no, go ahead, Eniola.
Yeah, you go. Oh, I was gonna say that most of the time, like I feel like for internship, it usually starts like in our second year, because I think majority of us are doing our like internship like right now. So I feel like for first year is mainly about like your course, and then also like navigating like the resources to help you to understand public health in general. So yeah, that's what I wanted to clarify.
Okay, I was just gonna say, you all can ask us questions about anything. I know our Phoenix ambassador isn't here, but if you all just have like general questions about Tucson or questions about anything, just feel free to ask us.
Also, I'm from Phoenix, so
Oh, nice.
I can answer questions about
I think
Phoenix.
someone raised their hand. If you wanna ask your question, you can, Adam.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Yeah, someone also asked a question in the chat, so I was like, oh, they could probably go with that. But yeah, I'll ask away. You talked about the GPSC. What is their role, and what do they do? And you guys, I think, also mentioned they have some open spots or something like that. Could you guys just elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, so it's kind of, so any issue or concern about funding or something that you want to bring to your college, you know, to the public health side, that would be, you know, you talking to me, and I could, you know, raise that concern to GPSC in the meetings that we have. They kind of are the voice for the students, and they, you know, kind of connect, like, you know, connect each other, like with organizations. They're always like looking for funding, ways to, you know, to bring more funding to your college, or to, you know, bring awareness to the issues of the students, and connecting like the graduate students with professional students. And there is an at-large representative opening for this year. There's still like some spots left, and I could put you in contact, Adam.
Yeah.
I think I see. I remember from Epi, you and I worked together. So
Oh.
I remember, but I'm not sure if you remember. But I can connect you with Shilpita, the president, and there's still some spots for that at-large representative. So this is my first year, right? starting with GPSC, and it's for 21, 22. So I'm still learning what all goes into it. So, but yeah, if you send me a email, or I can put you in contact if you're interested in that.
Yeah, could you just drop your email into the chat and I
Yeah,
could I'll
and
shoot you.
then I can actually,
I think all of our emails.
yes.
Oh, okay, sweet.
The next question is, what is a resource you wish you knew about or used more in your first year? Does anybody have thoughts?
For me, I would say the hub, because I just realized the hub had a lot of like cool like internship resources and other things you can do with like organization. So I wish I used the hub more for my first year, because now I'm using it now because it's my last year. But yeah, that's what I'll say, the hub.
I second that for sure.
I'm gonna put a plug in for the ambassadors, because I think I contacted someone when I was applying to the U of A, but I didn't really think about talking to anyone like last year. And I think that's something that definitely would have helped. So like, don't feel weird about emailing us about anything, and if we don't have the answer, we can definitely like connect you to someone who does. So.
I think we have another question, and that is from Hannah. Thank you for asking. So they asked, how do you all feel about the course load for your first year? Does anyone want to take that?
I think it was very doable, but similar to Eniola, I was in physiology, and physiology, just everything about it, like the way you study and the way your classes are and the way you're tested, just everything is completely different. So I struggled more trying to like rethink in terms of public health and like a public health lens. So that's where I struggled, as opposed to like the actual coursework. I think it's very doable, and that your professors are experts in their field and they're very helpful, and I've never had issues with my classes. I think they're organized amazing, and they really set you up for success.
So going based off of Becky, because I came from psychology, and I realized that for public health courses is a lot of group work. In psychology, we didn't have that much group work and like collaborative like learning. So I had to get used to that like setting. But I really enjoyed the courses I took, because it was a lot of like group like thinking, and also like helping with the ideas. And then also like it helped me to learn that, okay, public health is more like community, because for psychology, it's not like that. So when it came to the course load, I just had to take like about a few units to get into the field. And that's what helped me to, get more like about the field in general. So yeah.
So if I can, I'd like to just go back for just a second to, let me see whose question it was. Tanya, if I'm saying that right, or Tanya, I'm totally sorry. How do you say your name?
It's Tanya, you got it right.
Tanya. Okay, great. So I work with a lot of students who sort of juggle between full-time student, part-time student, et cetera, as their work schedule allows. And I think what can be really important for students like that is to maybe even just pick one thing that you're going to do, right? You don't have to do everything. You can try things out your first semester, learn about the clubs, learn about the organizations, et cetera. And maybe, sorry, my daughter's very mad at being locked out of this room right now. Welcome to working from home. So if you find that thing, if you try some things out and you find that thing, you might be able to commit, an hour a week or a few hours a month to something. So you don't have to do everything to be able to kind of get a taste of other things. And so you'll find what works for you. So don't, like they said, don't overcommit yourself, but maybe try a few things out this semester. See what might work for you, see what works for your schedule. But when I started the program way back when, because I'm an alum, I was working full-time in an 8 to 5 job, and I had very little flexibility. And so I just found one thing I could do. I was like a student on a hiring committee for a faculty. So it was very minimal commitment, but still got me a little bit invested in the college, right? And so then I was able to grow that from there as my work schedule allowed. And so I think you can find the things that you're passionate about that maybe don't have a huge commitment of time for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I just also wanted to say, don't be too stressed about, finding a bunch of things to put on your resume or anything like that. Because I think that like the first semester, honestly, just focusing on like figuring out how to be in grad school is kind of enough sometimes. So so don't feel like you have to put a bunch, get involved. I think I got involved with like one organization, the Social Justice Symposium, like halfway through the first semester, and then things kind of slowly built up through the spring as I got more comfortable. So.
I'll also add to Tanya's response to Samantha about you'll be added. Oh no, it was Becky's response. Thank you. It was a great response. I thought it was Tanya's. You'll be added to the listservs automatically, the MESCOP listservs. Tanya and I also send out Friday digest emails during the regular semesters, and that will include both information we receive about events, workshops, engagement opportunities, etc., but also a very long list of resources, and then you can choose to join some of those listservs if they're a particular interest and you want to receive all of those emails. So yeah, we'll send out weekly emails. We sort of had a pause this summer, sent them out infrequently, and then we'll start back up at the start of the semester.
Kim, can I have you clarify something for me? Because I was trying to answer Tanya's question too, and I don't want to have said the wrong thing because I was just checking my course sequencing. I thought it said like what courses were offered when, but that's only for like the service learning courses at the bottom. Like, is there a place where we can see like, oh, this core class is only offered in the fall or only in the spring? Because I think that'll really help with.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass that one to Tanya because she worked more closely with the concentrations. If a class on some concentration sheets, at least for mine, and then Tanya can speak to hers, it'll have a little asterisk or a little symbol of some sort, and then it'll say spring class only or online only in the spring for our students, so that you can see that directly. But I'm gonna pass it to Tanya.
Yes. So for core courses, which would be all 5 core courses that all MPH students have to take, they are offered each semester fall and spring. Their number of offerings and the course modality may change. So some semesters they have an in-person offering, then the next semester it will be offered, but maybe it's via iCourse, which is an online class. So looking at the course schedule when it comes out, because we can talk, if you meet with Kim or I, we can talk about how courses have historically been offered, but of course, knowing that for each future semester, things can change, instructors can change, modalities change. So we can't really guarantee until a course schedule is out and finalized. But we can certainly, help with that. Now, as Kim mentioned, for some of the course specific or the concentration specific courses, there will be more like indication this is only offered in this specific semester. So that way on your sequencing, if that course is put in a spring semester and there's that indication for that, then then you can know, okay, well, I can't then try to take this in a fall semester if it's only spring and vice versa. And so if there are questions, you can absolutely ask me or Kim, whoever your coordinator is, and we can kind of clarify, and we can have meetings with you before each semester, particularly if you're part-time. I think I've probably mentioned this a couple of times. I'm happy to meet with any Tucson student if you want to just talk about your classes, but particularly dual degree and part-time students, I really like to meet before each semester. We can talk about what classes you are planning to take, if there are any potential issues. We want to just make sure, because being part-time usually extends, or even dual degree extends your completion timeline, that we want to talk through the classes that you plan to take and what makes sense for allowing you to still make continued successful progress through the MPH program.
I just want to say thank you, Tanya. You helped me a lot. You got me through some rough, yeah, especially this past spring. So yeah, thank you so much.
Lauren, you can ask your question.
Cool. Kind of along the lines of the courses, have any of you done any of the accelerated courses, like the 7-week in the semester? And if so, what was your experience with those?
I took 7 weeks in undergrad, but last semester I also took a 7-week course that was actually interprofessional. So it was MPH students, DRPH students, and MD-MPH students. And we were actually all put in groups together, and it was very interesting because we got to see each other's perspectives. But like I was saying before about how I think all the instructors really set you up for success, I would say the same thing for the 7-week course, because it's also 7 weeks for them. Like, they have to do all the grading. So if they have to make sure that they're able to do everything in time. So I wouldn't be nervous about accelerated courses. I think they're just as, like, you succeed in them just as well as the full term. But that's just my experience. And it was one class. So.
And I'll add to that, Lauren, because I know what class Becky's talking about, and you have to take that too, is that it normally balances out in your course sequencing. So you'll be in fewer classes during that accelerated term. So it feels like double the work, but you have one less class. So it's still about the same amount of work as you would normally have, just twice as much is focused on one content area.
Great, thanks.
If you're, trying to get a picture of like how many hours a week that means that you'll be spending on coursework, the general rule at the U of A is that for every unit the course is worth, it's 45 hours of academic work. And so, when I am looking at schedules, or I teach a summer class, which is 5 weeks. And so to kind of calculate that, 45 times 3 and then divided by the number of weeks that you're in the class gives you about approximately the number of hours per week you're likely spending on coursework.
Priscilla?
Hi, everybody. Question. Is there a place on the U of A website where I can find old syllabi so I can kind of know what I'm getting myself into?
So I think this is a new feature. When you're doing like the class search on UAccess, when you click on like the enrollment details, if there's a syllabus like that's attached to it, so they have one for the course, that's how you access it. Like, you can download it from there. So you go to the class search the class, click the class, and then if there's a syllabus available, you can download it and view it. But that's the only way I know to obtain them.
You can also.
I noticed that some have been taken off, I think, but on the MESCOF website, there are also, when you go to the page that oh my God, I'm not doing a good job of explaining this, but when you go to like your division's page, like, I don't know, I'm in EOH, so I'll look at like the environmental and occupational like list of courses, and there's little hyperlinks to syllabi, but I think they were gone. Maybe Tanya? Okay.
Yes, so that is that used to happen, and they have been taken down. And as soon as we have a new type of format on where those can be visible, I know that our academic affairs department is working on putting that together. So as soon as we know more information, we will let you all know.
You can also just email professors though. Like, I'm sure that they would be happy to send you, if it's the same one teaching it, I'm sure they'd be happy to send it to you.
Thank you.
So to be respectful of everyone's time, I know we went over our 5:45 time. Our ambassadors, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for doing such a wonderful job talking about how to thrive in grad school and answering such great questions. I know you all have offered multiple times for folks to reach out to you, and we so value that. And we certainly hope the students here will take advantage of that and reach out to you to learn more about perspectives. We'll reach out to Tanya and myself to talk about course sequencing and all those things. So thank you again so much. I can see some thank yous coming into the chat here. And so we know everybody appreciates you, and we're so excited for the current students and the continuing students and the new students. And we're really looking forward to this year. So thank you all so much. Just a reminder, quick reminder to our new students who are here today, make sure you're accessing your D12 orientation. Make sure you have registered for your live online August 20th date. So make sure you're working your way down your checklist for orientation. We don't want you to miss anything, and we can see what you're doing on D12 too. So FYI, but don't forget to access that and take care of those checklist items so that you are fully prepared and ready to go when the semester starts in just a couple of weeks. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Mhm.